will continue after having listened to our commissioner, having listened to our MEP. We have listened also to messages from the islands, and again, we find that very important to have that on an almost equal footing. Now it is my humble task to present to you how these messages are feeding into the work of the Clean Energy Secretariat. And so in a small 10 minutes, I will introduce to you the Clean Energy for EU Island Secretariat, how we are set up, and how we will work. So this is our initiative. We have titled it Explore, Shape and Act from Clean Energy Vision to Clean Energy Action. And indeed, it is, as Mr. Pichula has already invoked, there is some history behind us, and we are building on strong foundations that allow us to continue our work. In 2017, there was the political declaration on the clean energy for EU islands, which was signed in Valletta, and the Clean Energy for EU Islands initiative was launched. And then, as Mr. Pichula has indicated, they secured a budget line which allowed for the Secretariat to move forward and to be funded and to be set up. And this was really the pilot Secretariat, the early days, and tremendous work has been done already to work on and to kickstart the clean energy transition in the islands. And then, very importantly, also not only the Commission, not only the Parliament, but also the European Council and the Member States came on board with the signature of the Memorandum of Split, where 14 Member States together pledged to work on the clean energy transition. And so now, this year, in February, we started the second phase of the Secretariat. And as said, we are building on strong foundations, and but we have big ambitions for the next years. We want to reach, obviously, a lot of the EU island communities by showcasing their decarbonization plans, and some of them are already quite advanced. We also want to focus on the actions on replicable, scalable, bankable projects. And for that, we have the tool of the Clean Energy for EU Island Pledge, which is very important because it's a commitment by stakeholders to say, we will work on clean energy transition. We have a goal. We are united on that goal, and we will work together on that. And from there, particular projects can be outlined, and there also we want to give the technical assistance to the 40 island communities. Tomorrow we will reveal the selection of the first 20, so it's an important moment, and then we can start the technical assistance already early in our Secretariat and move projects forward. And what we also will do in a parallel track is to look at the policy and regulatory barriers to energy transition. And we know there's still a few, and we want to be working on them and removing them together with the member states and looking what can be done. And lastly, we want to develop a pipeline of bankable clean energy projects on the islands. And this is very important for us because, you know, as the Commissioner has indicated in her speech, she set some very clear goals, and we want to sign off on that. You know, we want to have the projects with impact, and as the Commissioner has indicated, you know, moving out of coal is very important to have a meaningful clean energy transition. Also, looking at petrol subsidies and constituting alternatives for the use of petrol in heating and in transport is very important to move that forward. And the islands have a pilot function in there. And Mr. Pichula mentioned also R&D as an important factor. And at the moment, there's 8 big horizon projects going on the islands. They're very interesting. They will yield a wealth of data and experience that we will share. And we are in contact with them to show how some of these systems of systems integration, renewable energy, smart energy, how that can work. So there, I think we can meet the challenge put by the Commissioner. And lastly, as also indicated by the Commissioner on transport, which is a predominant part for many of the islands of their carbon emissions, we want to work on the decarbonization of transport, looking at the ferries, looking at the maritime traffic, because these are really impactful things to do. And so we want to match the pioneering, the community, the R&D approach with creating impact on a larger scale and showing also to the continent what can be done in terms of clean energy transition. And so we have a central methodology for that, and that central methodology sort of reflects on where the islands are, and we called it Explore, Shape and Act, because we want to support the islands in whatever phase of energy transition they are. And some are really well advanced, and we saw some examples in the video, the messages from the island. The people that are really working already towards net zero, and we are still in contact with them, looking how we can assist them in terms of financing, in terms of regulatory support and so forth, to be able to act and also bring things to a larger scale. So there's other islands, as we have seen, that are shaping concrete action plans and projects. And it's typically those, the bulk of the technical assistance will go to these projects and shaping them up and making them bankable, making them scalable. And that might sound like buzzwords, but it's very important. I mean, many of these projects have very good intentions, but it's important to be able to finance them and make them ready for that, and that's what we want to do. And then exploring. I mean, there's many islands in Europe, and some of them are yet to start on the clean energy transition pathway, and we are there for them. And especially also the smaller islands, it's very important not to neglect them and to work with the smaller islands to start exploring what clean energy transition can do. And throughout all that, in that support, we want to look even, and Mr. Pichula mentioned, and also Commissioner Simpson, and we saw in the video these renewable energy projects, and obviously that's the basis of everything. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, the International Energy Agency came out with its net zero scenario and said the future of energy is electric and the future of electricity is renewable. Almost 90% in a 1.5 degree scenario, almost 90% of the energy, of the electricity should be renewable. And so the first thing of everything is to have renewable energy projects on the islands, but it can't stop there. We need to look at renewable energy feeding into the heating system, feeding into the transport system via electric cars, feeding into alternative fuels via the hydrogen production. And so making that all work, that's very important. And that's where we want to work on. And we're not alone in that. And that's also very heartening. I mean, since the beginning of our secretariat, I'm really impressed by the island community, the many great actors and people that have been working in the field for decades now on clean energy transition. And we brought some of them together with our consortium as regional partners, and we bring even more of these partners together today in the forum, but also in all the activities of capacity building that we will be doing. And so the Secretariat is set up with a very complementary team on the technical assistance with 3E, with RDA Climate Solutions, on the regulatory with ThinkE and eClarion, with support on the capacity building of ResCoop, with the digital infrastructure that allows us to work with DNVGL, and not, especially not today in the least, on the communications, event and networking side, with Steinbeis. And so we have a very complementary and fun team, if I may say so, and we have regional partners which constitute the University of the Balears in Spain, and Pau de Vilches will later today steer and moderate the panel. We have the island movement in Croatia, and Mr. Pichula, I think, mentioned also that. We have the Politecnico in Torino, CRES in Greece, Inestec in Portugal, and the Samso Energy Academy. And you saw the Samso people already in the video. And so together with them, we are making the link between what's happening in Brussels, what's happening in the islands, and how we can connect in the island transition teams. And we find that very important to reach out and to do all that together in a bottom-up way, in a networking way, in a horizontal way. I mean, we are there to support. As said, we are also reaching out to the research projects, and we want to bring all of that together. And so this will feed in our activities. I'm not going to say much more about that. It's going to become clear in the rest of the forum, and also tomorrow in our action day, how that will look like, what we're going to do in terms of network and communication, what we're going to do on the legal and regulatory. There's also a dedicated session on that tomorrow afternoon. And we're going to look at the capacity building for islands, and the technical assistance is obviously a great part of that. So this is just a short introduction of the Island Secretariat. We are very motivated and very enthused to make this happen in the next years with you. As said, we have, for those who tuned in later, we have 270 registrations for this forum. People have come online, and I also want to mention it is participatory. You can put your questions in the chat, which is on the right-hand side of your platform. You can also reach out to us at any given moment via the exhibitor space, but also via just the normal communication channel. So this concludes the opening of the Clean Energy for Ireland Secretariat.